Do you recall the awe-inspiring moment when Darci Lynne became America's Got Talent winner? As soon as she took the stage, the audience was captivated by her enchanting voice and ventriloquism. Darci Lynne may have been fantastic on America's Got Talent, but the judges only got a taste of her talent. Her bashful stage grins, adorable dolls, and real life are all explored in this film. In this narrative, characters must face the inevitable cycle of life and death while also making difficult choices and adjusting to new circumstances. At the age of 13, what did Darci Lynne like to do for fun? Her exceptional acting abilities are the result of her extensive training in the craft. Even though her companions would be out having fun, she would frequently practice late into the night. She persisted despite her extreme shyness and fear of public speaking. Thanks to her family's encouragement, she overcame her fear of public speaking. She mustered up the nerve to perform on one of the world's most famous stages by embracing and capitalizing on her imperfections. She trotted into the ambush and was met with the military shake. The story starts with an Oklahoma City 12-year-old who debuted on the internationally renowned talent show America's Got Talent. With a mixture of delight and anxiety, she gazed into the judge's eyes while holding her Petunia rabbit puppet and grinned sweetly. The judges and audience were captivated as soon as the music began, and Darcy's voice resounded across the entire hall. They were 100% convinced that the young girl playing with her toy, Judge Melby's touching use of the golden buzzer to terminate the performance, elicited thunderous ovations from the audience. Golden confetti whisked Darcy away to the live performances in the imaginations of millions. Darcy would perform ventriloquism, songs, and comedy in his weekly puppet show. Darcy brilliantly brought her characters to life, regardless of whether it was an elderly lady named Edna or a mouse named Oscar. The things she accomplished with her presentations went beyond mere comedy. Her exceptional talent was on full display in her hypnotic performances. Her journey came to a thrilling and nerve-wracking close the night before the big conclusion. Darcy put on a spectacular performance with the aid of her real dolls. With poise and elegance, Darcy stood before the judges as they spoke, a charming little girl who has already captured the hearts of countless people. After 12 seasons of America's Got Talent, Darcy finally got to hear his name announced as the champion. Darcy became quite emotional and embraced her puppets closely in response to the crowd's cheers. She received more votes than any previous winner, became the youngest winner ever, and took home $1 million, all of which catapulted her to stardom. Skill and perseverance allowed Darcy to triumph. However, she was always up for a challenge. The counsel she received from a reliable source aided her development. It is common practice for an established performer to mentor a rising star. Famous Hollywood director Shirley Temple and the Mickey Mouse Club's brilliant trainers taught Justin Timberlake a lot. Like them, Gary Owen served as a guide for Darcy. She wouldn't be the enchanting person she is today without his assistance. He made sure she had all the knowledge she needed to voice control the puppets for flawless performances. However, Gary's impact extended well beyond the realm of ventriloquism. His advice to Darcy was to connect with her viewers, gauge their reaction, and adapt her show accordingly. She learned from him how to make her performances more than simply a showcase for her abilities. He showed her how to give them depth by including dialogue, humor, and genuine feelings. The self-assurance and magnetic personality that Darcy displayed on America's Got Talent were greatly enhanced by his assistance. Even after Gary won the contest, he continued to support Darcy. Even on her cross-country tours, he was there for Darcy as her coach and producer. I don't understand how he became her guide. When Darcy was 10 years old, she followed her parents' wishes and applied to the International Cinderella Scholarship Program for 2014. Her parents and the audience were astounded by her performance. She met the world-renowned ventriloquist and current top team performer, Larissa Bonaquisti, after her victory. In order to improve her behavior, Bonaquisti gave her some advice. Darcy obviously internalized those lessons because she dedicated multiple nights to self-study aimed at enhancing her abilities. Her first doll, Petunia Rabbit, quickly became a devoted companion. At house parties and talent shows, they amazed onlookers with their entertaining performances, performing in a group. For Darcy, the most intriguing aspect of ventriloquism was the way it allowed her to communicate with others, bring them joy, and temporarily distract them from their problems. Darcy overcame her shyness with the help of ventriloquism. It was liberating and empowering to have Petunia by her side. The doll became a new means of self-expression for her. The key to Darcy's success was her month-long commitment to following Bonaquisti's advice and her participation in Edmund's Got Talent. Upon his arrival, Gary Owen beheld her. Because Darcy was both skilled and enthusiastic about her work, he knew she was unique. She accepted his offer to accompany her without hesitation. Gary gradually and precisely improved Darcy's abilities as a teacher and mentor by drawing on his extensive knowledge and experience. He instructed her in the intricate technique of ventriloquism while she practiced lip control. She mastered the art of making dolls talk and gave each one a distinct voice. While Darcy was honing her performance in the hopes of winning America's Got Talent, Gary was both critical and supportive. Live performances were Darcy's next stop after America's Got Talent. She and her band, Darci Lynne and Friends, went on a cross-country tour in the years after her victory. The tour was absolutely great, winning over a global fan base that was eagerly anticipating her live performances. Ventriloquism, comedy, and music were all skillfully intertwined in her performances. As she appeared on more talk shows and special occasions, her fame grew. There were other outstanding performances by her, including those at the Grand Ole Opry. She was a renowned TV guest who was often invited to share her story and showcase her talents due to her charisma and talent. She opened out about her famous crush, favorite bands, and other loves in an interview for Vogue. She discussed her skills, life experiences, ambitions, and the tenacity that allowed her to achieve those goals during an appearance on The Ellen Show. Darcy and Ellen wanted to know the young star's story, so they started by asking how she ended herself in Oklahoma. Because she was genuine and modest, people could easily see through her facade. During the hectic Christmas season, she also began to make appearances on holiday shows, which brought joy to American households. Darci Lynn's My Hometown Christmas Special was one of her notable appearances. As she shared her holiday rituals and performed with her puppets, she transported the audience into her world. The unexpected appearance of famous artists and friends only added to the celebratory atmosphere of the concert. Because she wanted to keep giving, Darcy accomplished a lot for other people. Christmas shows aren't the only ones. She sang at fundraisers and charity events to support causes she cared about. There was no better way for her to put her celebrity to good use than through her shows, which encouraged viewers to give as they enjoyed themselves. Fans already had a soft spot for Darcy before these events, but they deepened her concern for others and strengthened her belief in the community. Darcy has been actively engaging with her devoted fan base across various social media platforms. She frequently posts videos of her live performances, recording sessions, cover versions of popular songs, and more. On occasion, she gives debut performances of her own original music. She has managed to establish a personal connection with her fans by sharing her creative process and daily activities, yet this has not been an effortless task. Striking a balance between academic responsibilities and professional advancement can be challenging. Even more so for a celebrity on the rise like Darci Lynne. Still, it's insignificant in comparison to the difficulties Darcy would encounter. Identify the point of consternation. Hold on tight to find out. Up until 8th grade, Darcy was an average student at Oklahoma's Deer Creek Middle School. Then she began receiving her education at home. In addition to the typical challenges of being a student, Darcy also had to cope with the added pressure of always being observed by others before she started homeschooling. She had to find a way to divide her private and public life so she could remain authentic despite her rising stardom. Despite her busy schedule, the abundance of distractions, and the boisterous classroom environment, Darcy remained resolute in her goal to succeed academically. You needed a lot of self-control and time management skills to juggle all of your rehearsals, performances, and coursework. Staying up late to study or finish her homework was nothing new for her. Unfortunately, it became too much. Cancer was diagnosed to Darcy when she began experiencing health difficulties. She was astonished, but so were all her friends and family. With all her vivacity and charisma, the girl who had captivated countless hearts was now confronted with one of her most formidable challenges. Cancer treatment was challenging. Surgery and chemotherapy were among Darcy's treatments that helped her recover. The mental and physical tolls were high. The unwavering support of Darcy's family during this challenging period truly tested her determination. They banded together to provide her with unwavering encouragement and support. Her three brothers, Nate, Dalton, and Nick, and her parents, Misty and Clark Farmer, were her greatest loves. Regardless of the circumstances, Darcy remained resolute in her commitment to acting. She continued doing ventriloquism and singing for as long as her health permitted. She found solace and resilience in the theater and in her family. Months of care and an endless battle later, Darcy received the long-awaited news in July 2020. That she had cancer was completely out of the question. Darcy and her loved ones who had been following her story thus far were the ones who felt the most relief and happiness. It signified the end of a terrifying chapter and the start of an exciting new one, full of opportunities and optimism. Since overcoming cancer, Darcy has been extremely active with a plethora of initiatives and activities. The short film A Cowgirl's Song, which was released in April 2022, was her debut feature film. Darcy fearlessly jumped into acting. She was able to showcase her adaptability and willingness to attempt new things in the entertainment industry with this initiative, which ultimately boosted her career. Her considerable talents as an artist were further highlighted by the positive remarks of her performance. From July to November of the same year, 2022, Darcy's third tour, titled My Lips Are Sealed Except When They Aren't, took place. Her incredible vocals, eccentric ventriloquism style, and amusing antics were all on full display during this tour. Each show's inventiveness and energy astounded audiences around the nation. Although Darcy was no longer a participant, she made a victorious comeback to America's Got Talent in the role of a famous alumnus. Petunia, her cherished puppet, made an initial appearance with her on the AD Fantasy League spinoff. However, in an unexpectedly courageous turn of events, at long last Darcy performed a solo set, utilizing only her voice and guitar. She publicly announced her maturity and transformation from the usual 12-year-old ventriloquist character with this act. The message was clear. She had matured as an artist and was prepared to tackle new challenges. Darcy has been rather independent and adventurous during her travels, and yes, Darcy's character has taken a number of different styles. In fact, she has been rather independent and adventurous during her travels. And regardless of whether it's via her performances, from her social media posts, to her performances, to her return to former stages, she never ceases to amaze and inspire. Her story exemplifies the need of never giving up, being resourceful, and seeking excellence at all times. As Darcy matures and gains knowledge, one thing will remain constant. Her light will continue to shine even brighter. Now she's going above and above to brighten the lives of others. She was resolved to utilize her position to aid in the fight against cancer after overcoming it. Darcy became a vocal supporter of cancer awareness efforts after being forthright with her fans about her disease. She was active in campaigns and events to generate funds for cancer research and highlight the significance of early cancer detection. Her story touched many since she shared it with others who were going through the same things. Fundraising for cancer research was a top priority for Darcy. By playing at benefit concerts and joining other campaigns to bring attention to the issue, she raised awareness of these problems by utilizing her influence and abilities. Much of the funding for cancer research that has led to the hunt for a cure can be attributed to her efforts. Darcy had the greatest support from the Oklahoma-based Toby Keith Foundation, which assisted sick children with cancer in their recovery. Families coping with kids' cancer can find support through the foundation's OK Kids Chorale program. Toby Keith, a country music singer who passed away recently, was its founder. A tremendous relief during one of life's most difficult times, families may rest easy knowing their children are safe while receiving care at this no-cost home. Having started in Norman, Oklahoma 20 years ago, the Toby Keith and Friends Golf Classic has grown into a symbol of optimism and generosity.